Hi guys, Chai here. This is a little bit of a different type of video than I normally do, but I wanted to try it out to see if it's something I enjoy and to see if it's something you guys enjoy watching. So today I'm gonna take you through my process of making an animation meme. I get a lot of comments asking if I can do drawing or animation tutorials or even editing tutorials, and I don't quite feel comfortable doing that because there are a lot of professionals on YouTube who do and have extensive training and understand the programs a lot better than I do, whereas I'm almost entirely self-taught. There are more efficient ways to do a lot of the things that I do, both in editing and in drawing, and I'm learning them as I go, whether that's through video tutorials or just years of experimentation. But I promise I'm not someone to look up to in that regard. But what I do have experience in is making animation memes. Now, for those that are not acquainted with the term, I will explain what an animation meme is. An animation meme is a video usually with repetitive or simple animation or drawings meant to be shared with the community. Now, when you find an animation that inspires you, clipping the exact same audio and reanimating the project shot by shot to post on your channel with your characters is not usually an acceptable course of action. With animation memes, though, this is fully expected, encouraged, and appreciated. Despite them being often identical or nearly identical in concept and audio, animation memes don't really take away from each other. In fact, one popular version of an animation meme often supports the others by promoting the meme as a whole and getting viewers curious and watching more iterations, as well as the original. It's a cool way for artists to support each other and connect as a community, and a format that I really appreciate. Another thing I love about animation memes is how accessible they are to new artists and animators. They're often short and loop or repeat the same animations or drawings, so as a beginner teaching myself animation, these memes often stood in as brief exercises that I could finish in a day or two and post, look back on, and feel proud of, and that's still the purpose they serve for me today. So the meme that I'm going to be walking you through today is my recent big shot meme. None of the shots are animated, but they are drawn and edited, and I think it's a great demonstration of creating an animation meme. I actually made this one in one day. I think I worked a total of 5 hours on the project. Now let's get into planning our animation meme. This is just the process I go through, and I find it to be efficient for me, but it might not work for you, and that's okay. It just might be helpful for me to show you guys my mindset, having made quite a few animation memes in my time. I choose the meme I want to do and download the audio, and usually by this point I've got an idea in my head of what characters I would like to include. The song really reflects the story of these 3 characters from Frostbitten, so that's what I went with. After listening to the audio, I got an idea in my head of how I would like it to be laid out. Now, you can plan this out in a few different ways. You can think it in your head, never put it down anywhere, and just draw straight through, and that's totally okay. Or you can be a little more hands-on with your planning through sketching the entire meme, which I often do, or doing thumbnail drawings that look a little bit like this. Now, this is how I planned this particular meme. The audio is very repetitive, and this particular meme included only still images, and I didn't need to animate anything at all. Once I've planned out my shots, it's time to get to drawing. To save myself time, I did all of the drawings for this meme in the same file and then saved them individually. It worked for me to sketch all of the shots first, then go through and do the line art for them all at the same time. And then I went through and colored each character. So first I colored all of the shots with Eloise, and then all of the shots with Yora, and then all of the shots with Willow, etc. That way I knew that I was being consistent with their markings and style, and I also only had to have one reference sheet open at a time. It also just feels more efficient to me when I do it that way. Now, that's probably not a process that works for everyone, so take it with a grain of salt, but if it works for you, great, it helps me out a lot. Now I have all of my images drawn and I can quickly do the backgrounds. Now, I might say that I was rather lazy with these, but I prefer to call myself efficient. I made use of some simple backgrounds that I already had in my files that I use for Frostbitten content, and slightly edited them to be specific to this meme. Now, these drawings would have looked much nicer had I sketched them, but I knew that they wouldn't be shown for very long and would often be covered up by the characters, so I didn't put too much time into making them perfect. I'm happy with how they turned out, and I think that they still have a really great impact on the meme as a whole. Now, before we move on to editing, I want to tell you guys a little bit about the GAOMON graphics monitor stand model GMS01. Now, I'm normally hesitant to take people up on sponsorship offers, but when GAOMON offered to send me this in exchange for a review on my channel, I was intrigued. It felt like perfect timing, because with as much drawing and crocheting as I'm doing, taking care of my wrist has been a huge priority. I often found myself propping my tablet up on the edge of my laptop or on anything I can find nearby my desk just to get a more comfortable angle, so seeing a product made just for this with a lot of easy adjustment options felt perfect. The stand has options for multiple different angles and can be kept completely flat for easy storage or transportation. I was worried that the stand might slide around on my desk or that the tablet might slide around on the stand, but the rubber pads on the bottom as well as on the sides of the top surface of the tablet stand eliminate this issue. Now, unfortunately, my big old 13-inch tablet decided to quit on me just a few days before I received this product for review, so I'm using my very small backup tablet that I luckily had on standby. Now, even though it's not big enough to be held by the rubber pads on each side, it didn't slide around at all, and this little ledge that you can pop out to hold things at higher angles or things that are smaller was absolutely perfect for keeping it still. Thank you so much to GAOMON for sending me this stand for review. I am very happy with it and use it often. There's a link to the product page in the description of this video if any of you are interested in giving it a look. Now back to the video. And now we're on to editing. Now I'm using Adobe Premiere Pro for this, but I've used the exact same process editing in both Sony Vegas Pro as well as Blender's free video editing option, which I do recommend for beginners or for people who just don't have the money to drop on editing software. Once I've imported all of my images so I can easily add them to the timeline, I find the spot in the audio where I'd like the meme to begin, and I drag my images into place. Now, you'll notice that I only added 4 files to the timeline right now, and that is very intentional, and it's going to save me some time later. Using my Effect Controls tab, I'm adding simple panning to keep the images from standing there and making things a little stagnant, as well as to add a little more impact to the transitions. I used this technique on all 4 of the drawings, and added an extra little pan and fade at the end for the last one. Now, this is where we get to why I've only edited 4 frames of my animation meme this far. Now, I don't have to repeat this process for the drawings of Yura and Willow. I'm going to simply drag them over top of Eloise's section in order to replicate the timing, and then I'm going to copy the timeline event that I have already added the editing effects to, and then I can simply select both Willow and Yura's drawings, which will have the same timing, and hit Paste Event Attributes. This will add the same pan to different images. Once I've made all the attributes the same, I can select all of Yura's drawings and move them to be right after Eloise's, and likewise with Willow's. I'll quickly watch through to make sure I got the timing right and adjust as needed, and with that, most of my animation meme is done. I'll copy and paste this chunk to match the repetitive audio, and then leave the sections that I'm going to do something different with blank for now. If I wanted to spend a little more time, I could do individual drawings for these or add a little animated section, but for this particular meme, I decided that wasn't necessary and went along editing what I had into something different. And that is how I quickly edit an animation meme. I saved a lot of time by copying and pasting the effects that I added by hand, and I get a lot of length and impact for a short bit of editing. I think my overall tips for making an animation meme are have fun, do what you like, and work smarter, not harder. If you have a simple shading method that takes 2 or 3 minutes but doesn't look quite as good as one that would take you 2 or 3 hours, it's totally okay to go with it. Nobody wants to say that they've cut corners or settled on something that wouldn't make a project look as good. But the best thing you can do with an animation meme is to make one, finish it, and get it out there. When you're doing self-indulgent projects like these, or something just for fun or unpaid, there's nothing wrong with taking shortcuts. And these little bits of efficiency you can add to your work are going to be applicable when it comes to paid work or even professional projects as well. Making an animation meme in one day or even just 5 hours is not an achievable task for everyone or even most people, but I would challenge you to give yourself a time limit, such as a week or a weekend, to just make a video, have it finished, and post it. There's no limit to the amount of time you can put into a project to make it better or more detailed, but you cannot underestimate the importance of finishing a project and moving on to something new. And with each quote-unquote lazy animation meme you do, your skills improve. Make sure you're having fun with what you're doing, and let me know if you have any questions in the comments or what you'd like to see in future videos. Thanks so much, and happy holidays!